Hello, welcome back to Shopping Tales, and I'm just going to start the video from a different angle today, and this is just a little preview of what I'm going to be talking about in depth. So these are my overnight sales. I think there's 13 of them, and so this is I'm in my workroom, and I just lay everything. When something sells, if I'm home, I pull it and I put it on this twin size bed. That way it's off the ground, it's clean. I do have a steamer set up here in case something needs steaming, like this linen blouse. I'll be steaming before I wrap it. So I'm just going to be showing you now what sold, how much. Again, these are the labels that I use. I'll respect the person's privacy, but it's over there. It's under there, the label. And again, when something sells, I write down exactly what it is. I write down how much it sold for. I do not print the labels out until I actually make sure that I have the item, because there has been times in the past 20 years that I sold something and it was misplaced, and then I printed out the label, and then you've got to void the label and so forth. So this is what we are dealing with. All right, so that was just a little preview of what's to come. I have my sales here, and they do total $409. I just did a short a few minutes ago, and in the short, it was a loss. And as I was doing my short, I actually sold something else. So yes, let's just get into it. So yes, I am happy with the $409 of gross overnight sales. Would I like it to be 500? Of course, who wouldn't? But this is from Saturday and Sunday, so if you want to break it down, it's not technically overnight sales, it's weekend sales. And I do try to aim for $200 gross 7 days a week. And that is gross. So that is what I try to aim for. Okay, so when I say that's what I try to aim for, I guess I should preface by saying also, I won't ever accept lowball offers. Like, I'm not going to accept lowball offers. But if something is $30 or $35 and someone offers me $20, if I've already reached my goal of what I want to sell things for, and it's a good item that I feel confident that I will be able to get, asking price, or just like taking off $5, then I will wait. But if I haven't reached my overnight goal yet, I tend to more so than accept a lower offer, not to be confused with a lowball offer. If something's $35, most people would take a $20 offer, but they probably have not as much put into the garment. So like if someone bought something at the bins for $1 or $2, of course, $20 all day, every day. But if someone paid retail or spent $10, then they're not going to take 20, because then the platform takes a 20 to 30% commission, and it's just not worth it, in my opinion. But obviously everybody does business. Everybody has a different business model. But I try to stick with a certain amount in my head that I list things for and that I'm willing to take. But if, what am I saying? If I haven't reached my goal for the day, I will be more apt to take a lower, not low ball, but lower offer. Otherwise, I don't mind. I will just wait for the right person, because the right person, from my experience, is out there. So don't sell yourself short. And depending on if this is your full-time job or if this is just a side hustle, this is my full-time job. This is not a side hustle. So that is why I put a lot of effort and time into my items. I steam everything. And yeah, my time is worth it. So anyways, without further ado, I don't want to get off on any rants today. I'm just going to show you what sold and what platform it sold at. All right, so the first thing that sold on eBay were these Vionic slides. This is a perfect example. So these sold for $25. They retail, I'll put it right here, how much they retail for. I try to list things like this that are like new for half of the retail, which allows me then to take a lower offer. And I have found that if I wanted $20, if you list it for 20, someone's going to want it for 10 or 15. So it's better to go up a little bit more to make room for negotiation. Comment below how many times you negotiate. I feel like if someone offers, if you send an offer and someone counters it and you counter back, for me and my lifestyle, that's it. I don't want then someone to then counter. I'm countering my lowest. So once someone counters back a third time, and then I guess I'm supposed to then counter back a third, fourth, fifth. I mean, it could go all day. And a lot of people have that time. I do not have that time. So I really don't like the negotiation, to be honest. Like when I go to a yard sale, I will ask how much something is, but I'm not going to, and when they tell me, I'm not going to be If someone says, hey, that's $5, I'm not going to be face to face. Oh, will you take 2? For me and my personal standards, I find that rude. A lot of people don't find that rude, but I find that rude. So the whole do unto others, I am not going to continue to, barter, I guess. That's just not who I am. But that is how a lot of people do see their reselling business. And obviously you could run your business however the heck you want. So what happened was with these, I had them on eBay and I had them for $35. Someone right off the back, I don't have offers put on eBay, so they will just message you, right? They'll message you, and she said that she wants them for $15. And I said I can't go quite that low because of my promotions and what eBay takes, which is between 20 and 30% commission. I pay $6 for all of my shoes. And she said, okay. But then she said a second time, how about, I don't remember what it was, $18, something like that. And I already explained myself. Like, I feel like we're adults here unless I'm not dealing with an adult. I've already said and commented back that this is the lowest I can go. And I always say that through a message on eBay. And if then they're haggling and then they're commenting again, I don't want their business. My stuff is not for them. And that is firmly how I believe. A lot of people say that is rude. I've been told here on even YouTube that is rude. But I don't really care because I guess rude is subjective. I find their comments to be rude. So anyways, I told her, or no, I didn't even comment back. And sometimes when that happens, I will just relist it. If I feel any red flags, I have no problems blocking that person. A lot of people think that's petty, but then again, you could have your own opinion and I have mine. So go figure. It's to each their own, really. So I listed them, and I'm not sure if it was the same person. I didn't dive into that. But then someone commented, hey, will you take 25? And I was comfortable with 25. I was not comfortable with 10, 15, or 18, but I was comfortable with 25. And this person was willing to pay 25 for these Vionics that are like new. So that sold on eBay, and they are light as a feather, guys. So what I do is, to keep the stones looking nice, I'll wrap bubble wrap. I mean, I take time and effort in my items, and I try to give people a shipping discount that's not coming out of my pocket. So these will fit in a priority mail envelope, and I think that's like $10.65 now, something like that. But I made it so that the person could spend ground shipping because they are about 13 ounces. And what I do for ground shipping is I use an eBay poly mailer because I do have an eBay store, and I'm able to ship them in here as long as the stones. Now, if I didn't have stones, I would just be wrapping it in tissue paper and put it in here. Or there has been times that I will put it in a priority padded flat rate envelope and then put it in here for cushion. But that is how I give people like a shipping discount. And I also have had an increase of people asking me why my shipping is what it is. I never take a handling fee, and I don't want people to think that. I ship by weight only unless it's going in a priority padded envelope, which are these, which are free from the post office. A lot of people have, like, people say, I think I learned that from Chris on eBay. He is a massive multi-million-dollar reseller. Daily Refinement, I think it's called. But I remember years and years ago, I remember he used to say, if it fits, it ships. But instead of these padded flat rate envelopes, he would use the flat rate envelopes that are not padded and put shoes in there. And I guess a lot of people also didn't like that. So yeah, anyways. But that is how, that's always in the back of my head, if it fits, it ships. So yes, these bags are great, and they are free. You can get them from the post office, or just go to thepostoffice.com and order them. They come right to your house. And I don't know if you could see that box right up there, and that's where I get them. They come in a box like that, is what I mean. So this is a linen Jones of New York, size XL, kind of coral. Or do they call these camp shirts, I think, just like a button up. And I steamed it before I took photographs. But because it is folded, and many times I have everything folded nicely in a bag, this room is temperature control. I have air filters. I have obviously AC and heat in the wintertime. But I'm still going to steam this again and fold it in that bag, because hopefully it will arrive not as wrinkly. And I do take the time to do that. When doing that, you want to make sure before you wrap it, up in a bag or seal it that it's completely dry, because I have read on Reddit and seen other YouTubers talk about people getting things moldy, I guess just because of the heat. It's like 100 degrees outside. So you actually want to make sure if you are steaming garments, they are completely dry afterwards before you wrap them. All right, next I sold this Wacoal bra, and this sold on Poshmark, and it sold for $20. I had it listed for $25. This is the breast cancer awareness label, and it is a size 40G. Oops, over here, 40G, just a white bra. Wacoal and Soma do very well for me. Reselling used to be Victoria's Secret and Classique, but it is not anymore. So I try to stick with just larger size bras, and I picked them up for $2.49 at my local Goodwill. I generally list them all for $25 in hopes to get a $20 offer, which I take or I send. Now, if I'm sitting on a bra or it's a bad bra brand, I will take $15, but I will never take $10. And that seems to be the going rate for secondhand bras when people make an offer. And maybe they just think that I'm not a reseller, which, you know, makes sense. But if I'm paying $2.49 and I'm selling it, and Poshmark or eBay is taking a 20 to 30% commission, and I'm going through the trouble of pictures, photographing, wrapping, my time isn't free. So that is where I get the price of $25. All right, next on Poshmark, I sell jewelry, and I sell my jewelry, buy one, get one free. I list the majority of them for $15. I flip jewelry on the weekend. I buy my jewelry either estate sales or sometimes bulk buys from thrift stores or eBay. And I will spend, let's see, about, I mean, it's gone up more. I started this in 2020. In 2020, you could go on eBay and get 5 pounds of costume jewelry for, I think, $20 to $30. So anyways, yes, so it's buy one, get one free. But she only wanted 3 pairs, not 4. So technically it would have been $30 because they're 15, 15, and 15 if it would have been 4. And then I would have sent a $30 offer because it would have been 30 and 30, 60. But in this case, she only wanted 3, so I sent a $20 offer. And I have about, at the end of the day, I have about 25 cents invested per. I do wash all my jewelry when I get it secondhand. I purchase these cards. I photograph it. Again, it's labor. So think about it as when you get your car fixed, if you're going to the auto mechanic, they are charging you for the item that you're buying, or, you know, maybe you need, I don't really know how much things cost, but say you needed new brakes and the brakes cost you $200-300, but then for their labor, they're not adding $200-300. They're adding like $500 or $600. They're adding a lot more. They're usually adding, from my experience, double of what you paid for. So that's labor. Their time is worth something. So that is how you have to look at any business, really. Your labor putting in. Mechanics, electricians, plumbers, okay? Something's wrong with your plumbing and you purchase something that's only like $80-90. They come to install it, and their labor, it doesn't matter how long that they were here, it's still gonna be $200, $300, $400. So again, labor, guys. We're not working for free. So, all right, so the next item was also on Poshmark, and it was another bra sale, and this is a 42 Double D. It is a brand that used to do well for me that I no longer pick up, and it is called Glamorize 42 Double D, and it is a no wire bra. Again, I paid $2.49. I had it for $25. I took a $20 offer, which seems to be basically the standard, unless someone buys it outright. So that sold for $20. Next are a pair of Dansko shoes. Dansko is definitely having a moment. I stopped picking up Dansko. In fact, I think I only picked it up once last year, once or twice. And I've already picked it up 6 to 8 times this year. And I've actually already sold 6 to 8 pairs this year. We are halfway through the year. So these are Dansko. You want to make sure there's no dry rot when you're picking them up. I spend $6 for my shoes. I want them to be minimal heel, if any, but minimal heel, you know, heel drag. And you just look at the heels and there's not much drag there. You want to make sure that the, what is it called? The soles look good. I mean, Dansko as a whole is I think they retail for like $129 to $150, depending on what kind you get. You want to make sure that there's no footprints in there. And you just want to make sure that they're clean. I do clean all my shoes. I sanitize the insides of the shoes. I clean the soles of the shoes. Again, my labor. So they sold for $50. I had them listed for $50 and they sold for $50 on eBay. And they're going ground because they are heavy. And it was $2 more, which may not seem like much, but $2 more for shipping, for priority. So what I do for priority or non-priority is that I have an Adkin shake for breakfast every morning, and I save these boxes because they're the size of a shoebox. So that is how I will be wrapping it, to have it go out ground shipping instead of priority mail. However, that said, I do have the option on eBay for them to choose. On Poshmark, you can't choose. It's all priority. So this is a new to me brand called Imogen and Willie. Imogen and Willie. I sourced 2 of these last month. I had them listed for $39 each. I was going to keep them myself because they're actually a very expensive. I think they retail for like $80. So, I mean, I sold it for half. So I sourced 2 of these at my Goodwill for $4.99, $5. And I had them listed for $39. 1 sold. And I still have 1 listed. So that sold on eBay. All right, next is another pair of Vionic shoes, and these sold on Poshmark. And these are size 11, just a brown patent leather shoe. And again, let me show you the bottoms. Very, very clean. Inside very clean. Vionic is known for a high arch support comfort shoe. And they've been sanitized, they've been clean. I put time into them, so I feel good about the person buying them. If you do not know about the shoe test, the Dansko I couldn't show you because they are solid as a rock. Those are some hefty duty shoes. I never understood how people say they're so comfortable. I've sourced them before in my size, and it feels like I'm walking around with moon shoes or something. Like, they are heavy duty. Yes, they have an arch support, and they feel like those old Dr. Scholl's wooden clogs. I remember my mom and my aunt wearing them. I'll put a picture here if you remember those. They don't bend. They were like wood. I don't understand it. And even the back is plastic, and like that was digging into my heel. Like, I don't understand, but people swear by them. People say they're comfortable, and they're so heavy too. So I don't get it personally. Now, Vionics, on the other hand, this is the shoe test. So when you are sourcing for shoes, especially at the bins, but even at Goodwill, I mean, I have bought shoes at Goodwill, not doing the shoe test. And as soon as I get home and I do that, it becomes 2 pairs of shoes. In fact, if I have a picture, I'll insert it. I don't know if I saved a picture. I had that happen before with some Gulf Nike shoes that I sold, and they passed the shoe test, but then I sat on them for a couple years, and I think just even though this room is temperature controlled, they ended up still getting shoe rot, and that person got a full refund because that's embarrassing. So yeah, you want to do the shoe test if you can. You can't do that on Dansko's, but you just go like that. Make sure that they are still, still fine. All right, $35. Okay, next on Poshmark, someone bought 1 dome ring. Now, a lot of times when I get these jewelry secondhand off of eBay or where have you, I run them under Google imaging to find out if they are branded. This one, Torrid, came up, and I don't think they sell stuff like this on Torrid anymore. This seems like too good of quality for Torrid. But you put it under the category that it comes up for Google imaging. And so, yeah, this is just a dome ring, and I think it's size 8. It's a little bit big. And my jewelry's buy one, get one free on Poshmark. I had it listed for $15, but she did not choose a second one. And when people do that, even though I do have it in my description and my title that my jewelry's buy one, get one free, not everyone chooses to. So just because I don't want anyone to get disappointed when they open their package, I have a a shoebox of jewelry here that I choose for them something similar. So this is silver and black. So my opinion and my thoughts are, oh, she likes Torrid because this was Torrid. She likes silver, she likes black. So I will choose something similar to give her for free. And the reason why I do that is I used to not do that because you could look at it as in, she could read, it's not my fault she didn't choose a second one. But giving the benefit of the doubt where the people just assume that maybe I will choose, or I've had people before also say, how come there's only one? Like they think that they're getting a second one of the same item, and it's all vintage, like estate and whatnot. So I never ever have two or more of the same. So that's why I like to do that. I used to not do that. And again, people then would say, wait, where's my free one? And just the time, again, effort going back and forth. Oh, but you know, didn't you read the description, or didn't you read the title, or you didn't choose a second one, you know, all that. So just for sake of argument or confusion, I will give them a second one. And I've just been doing that for the past 2 years. And I have never had anyone then comment, what's with this, you know, second piece of jewelry that I didn't get? It's usually, oh, thank you for the freebie, you know, just something short and sweet. So that is what I do for that. All right, here is an Elaine Fisher. This sold for $40. I've been sitting on, there's something about a linen Elaine Fisher. It used to do so well. In fact, I don't have it here, but I had a return last week and I just kept it. So I've been sitting on this little Elaine Fisher. I think it's just a pullover mini dress, or maybe for a swimsuit. And I'm not picking it up again. Maybe it was the size. No, it's a size large. So the pink sweater that I picked up a couple years ago, I was thinking about getting it from, I was thinking about when I purchased it, not this, but a pink one. I'll put a picture here. I was thinking about keeping it for myself, and I'm like, oh, but it's Elaine Fisher. That's such a good brand. They use organic materials. It's like a conscious brand, and they use linen, you know, in most cases, or 100% cotton. Very, very rarely, if ever, you ever see polyester. It's always good quality. And so I sat on this dang sweater for, I think, 2 years, and then finally someone was excited to get it, and she opened up a case and said it wasn't the right shade of pink, and that it didn't look like the pictures. So she opened a not as described case, and I had to accept it. When I got it back, I tried it on again, and I'm like, you know what? I'm happy that she returned it, because even though it was a $50 sale, it looked good on me and I liked it. So it's now hanging in my closet. But as a whole, I like Elaine Fisher, but I'm kind of stopping picking up Elaine Fisher. I'm not sure. I feel like the Elaine Fisher lady she also likes Chico's. Maybe she likes Ming Wang. She may like St. John's. Those are all kind of upper class, mature women brand, if you will. And I think the people that like those types of brands are buying in store for the whole experience, because again, those are mature brands. And I mean, I could say that about myself, although I shop in person and online. But I think people like my mom and like boomers, I think boomers, I'm Gen X, boomers tend to know what they like, and they still like that in-store experience. And where was I going with this? I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh, so why I'm not picking it up. Now, Chico's I'm still selling. I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah, I do have Chico's here. I don't think you'll ever see a video here on this channel anyways that there's not at least one Chico's piece, because I do sell, Chico's is my bread and butter, and I sell it all the time. But as far as Elaine Fisher, Ming Wang, St. John, there's a very particular type of person that purchases those brands, and they want like new, precise color, and they want to be 110% happy. And I've just noticed from experience of being a reseller for a couple decades that they will find any reason that they're not happy to return it, and they get very upset if you do not return it. And I feel like if you are that way, you need to buy in person or buy on Amazon that you are returning. Secondhand market is just not for you. Again, that is not a popular opinion, but you have an opinion, I have an opinion. Okay, so next is these Tevas, and I had just sourced these maybe 2 weeks ago, and these sold for $35. I had them listed for $45, and I took a $35 offer. They're size 7, great hiking shoe, water shoe, and I'm not sure how much they retail for, but I'll put it here. All right, another 2 pairs of earrings. Again, my earrings are $15, and she did get 2. And I sent her, so they were up $15 each, and it would be $30, and I sent a $15 offer, which she did accept. But you know what? First she countered 10. That's right, she countered 10. And I said, no, my jewelry's buy one, get one free. 15's the lowest. And then she asked for discount shipping. And I told her then I wouldn't be able to give her the buy one, get one free. And then she came and bought it. So again, you know, all right, so last 2 items, guys. So Chico's rain jacket. So this Chico's rain jacket, I took a $35 offer. I had it for $40. I think these Chico's rain jackets retail for $90 to $100. And so I had it for $40 and she offered me $20 and I countered offered her $35. She countered $30. And then that's when I messaged the person and say 35 is my lowest, which I should have did before she countered, because I do use Prime Lister and Vendu. Those will be linked in the description if you want to check them out. I feel like everybody knows about them now, but Vendu is just a nice cross-posting site that also sends offers, as does Prime Lister. I have them both for different things. And so when someone likes something, 10 minutes later on Poshmark, my app will send them an offer, and 9 out of 10 times they accept the offer. I offer 10% off. 10% used to work. Now it's more like 15-20%. So depending again on how much I've sold that day, it's gray. It's not black and white. You know, it's not a black and white issue. It's a gray issue for me. And so when my app sends an offer, I'm gonna get them to counter, and I don't mind that. I don't mind if they counter. I will counter back usually what my app offered, or you know, take a couple dollars, because if I take a couple dollars off of what my app offered, that's like them getting a discount shipping on Poshmark. So, but once they counter and I counter back, if they counter again, no. I'd rather be listing new merch, out thrifting for new merch, steaming, taking pictures, cleaning shoes, doing something to benefit my business instead of bartering. Again, I don't think we would be doing this in person. And there's so many things that we feel so free to do online that we would never do in person, I don't think. Again, getting back to estate sales or yard sales. If I'm at a yard sale and the lady says that this was $5, I don't think I'm going to say, will you take 2 or 3, or how about 4? I don't know. I guess depending on how much money I have, but I'm certainly not going to get offended if they say no. Actually, you know what? Let's backtrack. A couple weeks ago, I went to some yard sales and I brought there was 2 Coach bags. The Coach bags, one was slightly damaged, but I thought that maybe I could repair it. They were $40 each. And I knew that I couldn't spend $80 for 2 Coach bags, even if I could sell each Coach bag for $100, because of Poshmark and eBay commission that they take. At the end of the day, I'm going to be polishing the Coach bags and taking probably 15 to 20 minutes, really cleaning it up inside and out. And that is worth my time. So I'm not going to I'm not going to purchase something for $40 to sell it for $100, because in my mind, you might say, oh, that's $60 profit. No, it's not, because of not only your time, but the platform's taking a 20 to 30% commission off that $60. And I don't want to just make $20 profit on something that sells for $100. A lot of people do. Again, it's how you choose to run your business. And I'm not about to tell you how to run your business, but it should go both ways. Don't tell me how to run mine. But getting back to those 2 Coach bags, they were $40 each. And I thought to myself, would she take $10 off if I brought them both? Because I am fine if people do that also. If someone's buying 2 things, a bundle sale, like my jewelry, I'm giving it buy one, get one free, completely buy one, get one free. And many times when some people buy garments and add jewelry, I will take away the cost of the jewelry completely, so they're getting it all for free and they're just paying for the garments. So regarding the Coach bags, they were $40 each. That would have been $80 out of pocket. I said, will you take, if I buy them both, will you take $10 off? So $60. And she didn't want to at first. And I said, fine. I'm not about to say, you know, come on, lady, don't you want to move things? I just said, oh, when I first said, will you take 2 for $60? She's like, oh, not really. I said, okay, I respect her, because that's her business of how much she wants to sell things for. I started walking away and I was looking at some other stuff. And then she came to me, well, maybe. So I could tell, I don't want to pressure her. So I looked around and I found something else and I said, can I pay full price and have this for free? I think it was a blanket. I think it was a blanket that was $10 or something like that. I don't know. So what she did is she said, oh, she changed it. She said, sure. She said, yes, I will sell them to you for $60 and you could have the free blanket. And I said, oh no, that's okay. I don't mind. And she's like, no, it's okay. So that is different than me haggling with her and trying to pressure her, or some might say bully her into getting what I want. And that's not what I'm in the business to do. So I did get them and they are listed. They're listed for over 100 actually, because I put a lot of time and a lot of effort in them. So there's that. But I told her that I can't take more. I mean, I can't take less than 35. And so she said, okay. And a couple hours went by because I'm like, well, okay, then this isn't for her. Someone else will come and buy it. I'm not getting upset about her not taking my offer. I'm hoping she's not getting upset that I didn't take her offer. And my phone went off and she bought it for $35. That happens more times than not, guys. So again, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. You don't tell me how to run my business, and we can all fit in this group of reselling together. But yeah, last thing I sold was Long Tall Sally. It is a new to me brand that I learned from my daughter. These were new with tags, size 16, which is my size. I tried them on, but long tall. I am not tall. I used to be 5'10", now I'm 5'7". And they did not fit. And since they were new with tags, I don't remember how much they retail for, but I'll put it here. So I had these listed for $40. Someone offered me $35 on Poshmark, which of course I took. I think $5 less is fine because shipping I think is like $8. So if you're going $5 less, that's like they're getting shipping for $3. So that's pretty much how I look at it. So this is my last sale. I have got a lot of wrapping to do, guys, and I got a lot of steaming. Let me show you these two items. So I went thrifting the other day. There was actually 3 of these. So these are Baltic Born plus size 2X full length bridal dresses. There were 2 of these gold ones, but one was chopped like a mini, and I thought it was chopped. But then when so I didn't buy that one. But then I got home and I saw this raw hem. I don't know why I didn't see that in the store. I guess because I was in a hurry. And I'm wondering if just this comes in different sizes and that maybe it wasn't chopped. This is a raw hem. So I don't know if, unless this one's cut too, but they are long. They're like 62 inches long. So I got these 2, no biggie, you know. And then this is a wrap long green one, maybe green and gold were like winter colors. Great for bridesmaid dresses. So this is a wrap style, and this looks like a wrap, but it's not. And I got these for $6 each. And I usually list my Baltic Born for $49, and I will take between $40 and $49 for them. So yes, I've got those to steam and list. And I have a whole bunch. My steamer is right here in front of me. I scored a whole bunch of Chicos. They have the contrast, sort of like the Chaps Ralph Lauren. And these are called no iron and stain resistant. But I do still steam them to freshen them up. If they had stains, I would be washing them, but most people, from what I've been told, go ahead and wash their garments as soon as they get them. I mean, I know I do that as well. And I have an array of cool shoes also that I will be listing today. So thank you so much for watching. This was a serious chit chat. And now I've got to spend the next half hour probably wrapping all of this. I know a lot of resellers that do YouTube videos wrap on camera, but I also know that not everyone likes that noise in their face and just the mundane of wrapping. So I usually always do that off camera. Yeah, I just feel like it's better to do that off camera. But again, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope everybody has a good one. Bye-bye.